What kindergarten did Peridot come from? Well, what if I told you we had the answer? In this bite-sized crystal clear, that's what we're going to talk about. Let's dive in. Alright, so once again, we're going to be looking at the video games TV universe Save the Light, which is level 2 canon, as in it's canon unless the show directly contradicts it. Yet, the video games are written by Rebecca Sugar. She's heavily involved in the story of the games. So we can assume, unless they change your minds at a later point, that a lot of this should be considered mainline canon. I mean, I really don't see why Rebecca Sugar and any other crew who's involved would add all this stuff in just to remove it later, even if it's never directly addressed in the show. Specifically, the events of the games aren't mentioned in the show. All that creative effort just to go, just kidding, seems kind of oof to me. Anyways, Peridot's kindergarten. We know Peridot's in Era 2. We don't know if the kindergarten homeworld is inactive or encompassed Era 1 and Era 2 and then was cut off, or it was just Era 1, but for the sake of this theory, let's just say that was only Era 1. That was my initial impression of it anyways, that this was a defunct kindergarten. The original, but defunct, which means Peridot, made on homeworld or not, would have to came from a different kindergarten, a kindergarten we have yet to see, a kindergarten that's still cranking out gems. Well, in Save the Light, Peridot has an argument with Squaridot, which is another Peridot with square hair that is one of the main antagonists of the game. Well, in their heated argument during Save the Light, Peridot refers to Squaridot as a Zeta kindergarten clod. But how would Peridot know this without even seeing her exit hole? That's a very large assumption to make. However, let's evaluate everything we know about Peridot. She has a tendency to self-deprecate at times, playing it off as a joke or not. She is someone who tends to look down on herself. I mean, just look at the episode Too Short to Ride. While other times, she's full of herself, seeing herself as nothing short of amazing. Get it? Short? Anyways, perhaps Squaridot and Peridot emerged out of the same kindergarten together, and that's how Peridot was able to identify Squaridot, which would mean Peridot came from the Zeta kindergarten. And I hope we get the chance to see this kindergarten in the show proper. It'd definitely be interesting to get some of that world building in there. But what do you guys think? Again, these crystal clear minis are just fun little tidbits, things you may not have considered before, things that may have been overlooked just because of the scale they're on. And if we know they're level 2 canon, or the crewverse has had some involvement in it, it's worth considering when thinking about the full scope of the show. It's a lore, it's a universe, all that great stuff. So drop your thoughts in the comments below or tweet directly to me at AwestruckVox. We're at the Roundtable on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Roundtable Vids. If you want to help the Roundtable grow, support us on Patreon. Get access to exclusive perks and have your name featured at the end of the video like all these beautiful, wonderful people. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to stay in the loop with all things Steven. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AwestruckVox out.